Hey, it's Host here, and it's time to blast some skeletons with Skeleton Kael'thas Mage. I wanted to do something really early on with Kael'thas, and I figured my Skeleton Mage list that I put together in preparation for the release of the set would probably be one of the better ones to try out at first, because it also knocks off the box of doing something with Skeleton Mage. The basic idea of the deck is to use cards like Mailbox Dancer or Kael'thas to actually discount your Fire Eye or Kel'thuzad to 0, so you can actually put down a Brann and Kel'thuzad down on the same turn, or a Fire Eye and a Brann on the same turn, thus allowing you to do an insane amount of damage output that other variants of this deck doesn't actually have access to, while also using some survivability tools such as Solid Alibi, so you can actually survive a key turn in a mirror match, while also scaling up your hero power as much as humanly possible through Wildfire and Magister's Dawngrasp, as there is no other fire spell in the deck, and thus you will always generate a Wildfire off of this, and also always generate a Arcane Intellect off of this. For the Mulligan guide of the deck, Nightcloak Sanctum is really great to keep in your open hand. Same thing can be said with Frost's Weave, Arcane Intellect, or Volatile Skeleton. Most of these cards will either allow you to draw into your other cards within the deck, or allow you to actually have some volatile skeletons early on, so your Kel'thuzad actually scales up really quickly. Mailbox Dancer is also really good to keep in your opening hand, especially if you're going second, because if you already have a coin, you can coin this out on turn 1 and follow up on turn 3 with a Nightcloak Sanctum if you do have that combo. And finally, Wildfire is also really good to keep in your open hand, as it will allow you to scale up your hero power really quickly. So with that all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Priest. Okay, we definitely want to mulligan away 2 out of 3 of these cards here. These don't really do anything for us this early on. Wildfire is really great to see, though, as a replacement. Just going to use the Wildfire. Also just realized, I think in the final list, I ended up cutting out the Harpies for a Frozen Touch. Don't think it'll matter too much in this matchup, especially because it's against Quest Priest. Because they're just going to be able to one-shot us if they actually get their quest line finished off. Interesting to see people still running Quest Priest, even though there's probably better ones now, in the form of Nagamate or Priest, and actually I guess that's it. Thief Priest is kind of disappointing. Hey, partner in crime. We can either freeze them or use a minion to draw another card. Solid Alibi isn't bad. This will allow us to freeze them next turn if they don't attack into our minions or kill the 2/1/1s. They did attack into the 2/1/1s. That's actually pretty good for us. This prevents us from taking damage for additional turn. And just go face and put down a Sanctum, and then I guess go face again. Actually, no, let's go for one of the minions, because that would require them to actually heal their minions up. I mean, that's possible, and wow, they actually are using that card. Okay, I get it. 2 classes in this game actually use their location a lot, but it is a little bit annoying that someone actually would be using that as a tech card. It must be a Reno deck too. There's no other reason you'd include a card like that, because there's only 3 locations that I can think of that actually see play, and one's on the board right now. Oh, I guess 4, because the Rogue one exists too. Okay, so they silenced our board. The good news is, I'm pretty sure for Kael'thas or Kel'thuzad, it still counts as skeletons dying, so we're not actually that far behind. I killed a Harpy. Oh, Wildfire. That's actually pretty nice. Allows us to kill that without sacrificing both of the skeletons. Though, at the same time, it does allow us to use Dawngrasp to get to 5 damage on the hero power, I think, at this point. draw a few cards, put down a few more skeletons, and then we can just attack into that, and one actually hits it, so we're perfectly fine. They do silence us again, but that really doesn't matter too much. Actually kind of weird. If they had 2 of the silences, then that means they don't have Reno? Okay, so we do have Brann and we do have Kel'thuzad. And we're just missing either a coin or Kael'thas himself. We can put down a Vault of Skeleton, a Flurry just because. Pass the turn back. We also can use Brann plus the Reckless Apprentice to do a bunch of damage next turn if we really feel like it. But I'm going to save the Brann probably to be greedy because of that. I'm so happy they don't have access to the Harvester of Envy right now. Because if they had it, they stole that card, I'd be a little bit frustrated. Going to use Condemn. Actually makes me wonder if you could make it where... No, that wouldn't work anyways. Okay, there's Cold Case. Let's attack into that. Do 5 damage with the hero power. It'll be up to 7 now. And then we can summon 2 more, because why not? And then we can kill all 3 of our minions, which will get us 3 more. Just helping they don't have a Mutanus in their hand, because that would be a little bit frustrating. Okay, they're going to heal up. Blackwater Behemoth. That gets them close to full. So we might actually just want to attack into it to do some damage. Okay, that will heal them up to full. We have 7 damage though, which means actually if 2 of our skeletons survive here, not even 2 of them, if 1 survived and we can still attack, we can do the 7 damage, ramp this up to 9, and then just put down another skeleton. Why not? Then pass the turn back. Being a little bit greedy with Brann and the Kel'thuzad, and I have been screwed over in the past by doing something like this against someone else also playing this same exact deck, so you never know though. Okay, so Brann, but what did they have to combo out with the Brann is the question. That doesn't combo with the Brann at all. It just buffs up with the Brann. Okay. Well, we do have the hero power, and we do have the coin now. Just going to do 9 damage there. Kill that. Use the hero power, because why not? And they're down to 20 HP, but we have full combo in our hand, even if we don't get Kael'thas. They got Fire Eye. That's kind of funny. Okay, that completes their quest line, but I think we still win the game. Solid Alibi. Okay. So we're going to have to hit through Solid Alibi. How many skeletons do we actually have here? Oh, there's Kael'thas. Well, we still have full combo because we have the coin in hand. We have 13. 13 times 2 is 26, which means 26 damage, so we should just win here. Oh, minus a few slots because there's going to be space for at least 1 skeleton. And behold, our power through Solid Alibi. I'm so glad I did the math here right. Hey, time for a game against Shaman. None of these cards I want to keep in my open hand. Actually, Solid Alibi might not be bad, but I'm not going to keep it anyways. There's a lot of different Shaman decks it could be, because there's a lot of ones floating around. Sanctum is pretty good to see. Dungeoneer's pretty good. Reckless Apprentice doesn't really do anything if we don't have any damage increase on our weapon yet. Hey, Kael'thas. Always when I mulligan something away, for some reason it's one of the first draws or in the mulligan anyways. They're just going to hero power. Cold Case. Doesn't do much here, to be honest. Just going to use the Sanctum. Hopefully they won't have a minion that destroys the Sanctum like that priest did earlier. A Frozen Touch. Let's just see what we get off of this. Second Frozen Touch. Pretty nice. Well, we could summon a skeleton here. Yeah, why not? Prevent them from attacking into our 1/1s. They're 1/1. We're going to use Frostbite, which kills our 2/3. And then they're going to kill the 1/1s anyways, so... now what do we want to do? I mean, Wildfire is actually pretty tempting here. The Reckless Apprentice just clears out the board, though. Yeah, let's use the Wildfire. The next turn, if they overextend a little bit, we can use the Reckless Apprentice. Okay, so that actually clears out the entire board anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Fairness Vash. That's a card that I'm pretty sure is going to end up getting cut out of a lot of Evolve Shaman decks, but I still want to play with it before it does. Probably going to use the other Frozen Touch, get rid of that, freeze the 5/5, pass turn back. Wildpaw Cavern gives them a freeze each turn. Deathborn's interesting. We can use this to attack into that. Oh, we're only going to get one because the skeleton actually had to destroy the other 2 HP minion, which is annoying. Okay, so we haven't even used our hero power at all. Glug. Well, our location comes off cooldown next turn. There's Brann, and we need 2 more mana to go full combo. What we want to do here. The Reckless Apprentice, clear out the board, might be worth it. And then just freeze the Glug. Sure, it's going to get buffed up a little bit, but we should still be able to keep it from doing any damage to our face for the next few turns. Because I'm pretty sure Fire Eye should be fully online. You just have to freeze it one more turn and then we're in a pretty good position. We're going to play down a Swarmer, a second Swarmer. Well, I guess 3 because they generated 3 off of Schooling. Okay, that turns on the 2 Frozen Touches. It's going to get buffed up even more. Oh, perfect top deck. We can just freeze that. Because if we freeze it this turn, that puts it under 10 HP. And then we can use a Dungeoneer just for shits and giggles, I guess. See what we draw. For some reason, it's Arcane Intellect. Getting a Cold Case. Mailbox Dancer, not bad. I think it's going to be a little bit too late, though. We should have full combo here. Play down Kael'thas, then put down Brann, and then use Fire Eye to 20 damage to their face, and then pass the turn back. Hopefully they don't have anything to deal with that. And we do have 12 damage in hand. Unless they can heal for a bunch, should be in a pretty good position. Okay, so they're going to use that. Do they get out? No. Well, I guess it turns into a 8/8. That's not a bad idea. And then it turned in Local R. That is really, really annoying. We're going to be able to clear out 2 out of the 3 minions of ours. But we still have lethal in hand, pretty sure. So let's use that. Then use the second one, and then we just use the third, and we win the game. Okay, time for a game against Warlock. Most Warlock decks right now are Imp. I know people are going back to Curse Warlock a little bit. This opening hand isn't terrible. We might actually just keep everything here. Yeah, that's probably the best bet right now. Okay, Volatile Skeleton as the top deck. That doesn't really do us much right now. Void Walker, that probably means it's going to be Imp. Yep, that definitely means it's going to be Imp. That doesn't do anything right now. Let's just put this down and do nothing yet. Mainly because if we freeze the minion when it's not buffed up, then we're not really preventing too much damage. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with. We need to survive until like turn 6 and see if we can actually top deck a Deathborn. That would be really nice. Actually, it could be even earlier than that if we get a Mailbox Dancer in between then and now. I'm going to put the Sanctum down, freeze the Librarian, get a Skeleton, and then freeze one of the 3 2s, I guess. Okay, so we're going to freeze probably the Librarian again, to be honest, just to prevent it from doing any damage. We're getting a good enough board. As long as they don't have the location themselves, that would be fine. Okay, so they have an entire board of minions. I'm gonna really have to do something about that. Cold case, actually not that bad. We can keep freezing the Librarian to get more. And see if this kills anything. It kills one of the 3/2s. This will probably... Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, so what do we want to do? We can draw a few cards, or we could draw one card. Wildfire, alright, I guess. We don't have enough mana to put it down this turn. Really would have preferred to get a Deathborn, but oh well. Or any Frost spell. We have 4 non-Frost spells in the deck, and for some weird reason I always end up getting them off of the Dungeoneer. A Reckless Apprentice, that isn't enough damage yet. But it should be close to enough. I'm gonna kill that minion, and then kill this one, then freeze one of the imps, get another skeleton out. Oh, Kel'thuzad. Well, in theory, we could actually play him down in 2 turns. Or just 1 turn, because we could, in theory, use the skeleton to actually trigger Kel'thas, and then put down Kel'thuzad. We're actually in a pretty good position. We're just missing a Deathborn in case they do get a wide board. Okay, File Library a little bit too late on their side. And they give up. Okay, time for a game against a Mage. This might actually just be a mirror match, would be kind of cool. This is the updated list, so we are using Frozen Touch. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of Kel'thuzad and Reckless Apprentice. Drawing into the other Reckless Apprentice, like that always happens. And then the Wildfire is actually pretty good, though. Okay, so we're just going to use our Wildfire. Buff that up a little bit. We do have a few choices next turn. We can either use the location, we could use the Flurry, or we could use our Hero Power just for free. They're just going to Hero Power us, so they must have bricked a little bit. Let's just use our Hero Power, go face. Okay, so they have a Frostweave Dungeoneer. I guess they got unlucky with what they drew. Let's just freeze it to get a skeleton on board. Might as well. Start the damage ramping up. And they're going to put down a location of their own, freezing ours. Commander is pretty interesting because it means additional copies of whatever we actually use here. Just going to use a cold case. We'll draw 2 cards. Use a maze guide. That's interesting. So maybe this is like a Reno skeleton mage? Huh. I mean, that's probably one of the best options that you could have randomly generated there, which is a little bit frustrating, but I think we should be able to just kill it instantly. Just gonna AoE board clear everything here, attack into it with one of the skeletons, and then go face. Have a Frozen Touch. Oh, some Nagas too. Interesting. And they're not a 40 card variant. Maybe they're just using a small skeleton mage package. Okay, they're gonna use Solid Alibi. I'm perfectly fine with that. Have another cold case. Let's use that. Then attack into that, and then I guess freeze their other minion. Then just get that for free. Well, they stole all of our skeletons, which is a little bit frustrating, but we don't have enough mana to do that. Draw a few more cards. There's our Deathborn, so we can actually take all of their skeletons next turn. Getting really, really low, so that's going to be really funny when we can. We can use Frozen Touch just to put some face damage in. We actually might just be able to win next turn depending on if they have their hero card or not. Okay, so they used Deathborn again. Or they had their hero card. Okay, that's going to be taking a lot of damage. We can use Solid Alibi to minimize the amount of damage we're actually going to take. Then get an entire board of skeletons, which is pretty nice. Pass turn back. I think they, in theory, could have another Deathborn, but I don't know if they want to waste it when we take half damage. But if they can actually hit through 19 bits of HP, that wouldn't be bad, I guess. We're going to use a secret. Hopefully it isn't a secret like count spell. Actually, I guess the one that's going to be a little bit more annoying to deal with would be Ice Barrier. Well, we have space on our board to actually use Commander. We should be getting a cold case, or 2 cold cases and 2 draws. We can just go face. Well, we might have actually just had lethal here. Attack into the minions, because why not? Don't know if I actually want to attack their face if I know that's probably going to be Ice Barrier. Yeah, probably just pass the turn back. Probably would have been better to pass the turn back, and then we'd have guaranteed damage next turn, but oh well. Burning their Sanctum, which is really nice for us. They're at 8 HP. We have 6 damage on board if they don't kill those minions, plus 3, so 9, and then 6 more damage in our hand. Probably going to be pretty good here, unless they have an alibi. Okay, so a Kel'thuzad, that is actually incredibly big. Clears out our board. Let's see where this hits. Okay, 1 hit their face. Cleared out our board. We're going to use Ruined Orb. Doesn't matter what they generate here because they don't have enough mana to do anything. We do have Frozen Touch times 2. And the Wildfire is actually kind of funny. We're just going to use Wildfire and then go face. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. Overall, the deck performed incredibly well, at least for what I expected it to do. And while I know it isn't the best variant of Skeleton Mage, I really wanted to abuse Kel'thuz as much as humanly possible in some type of deck, and this felt like one of the stronger variants that I could try. And I haven't done a Mage deck in quite a while, so I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to try out one of my theory crafts. And the nice thing about this version that I put together is the fact that you don't actually need to rely on Kel'thuz to actually get the full combo out. You do have the mailbox dancers that could give you a coin to allow you to actually play both Brann and one of the big payoffs of this deck in the same turn. And you also do have a backup plan with Dawngrafts as a way to just keep doing a bunch of face damage to your opponent. That might actually just scale quickly enough where you will win through that instead. For my recommendation when it comes to a deck like this, if you have Kel'thuz actually as a card, try this one out because most of these cards are going to be used anyways in most Mage decks in the coming months, and there isn't anything really too risky to craft in here except for Kel'thuz himself. But if you're a fan of weird, wacky combo decks like I am, Kel'thuz is probably your best opportunity for those weird, wacky decks to actually work, so you probably should craft him as quickly as possible. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.